Hello, my name is Daylin Sal, and this is my interview question assignment. My first question: what motivates you to stay positive at work on a slow day? I'm the type of person that I need a list, so I make a list out the night before I leave work for the next day. When I do that, I look at my patients for my next day, so I know when to be expecting patients. Then I um, incorporate my daily tasks into that list. And then because I can kind of predict that it's going to be a um, slow day, I have a list of tasks, like monthly tasks, that I could incorporate into my next day. Um, my next question: have you ever had a bad experience with a coworker? If so, how did you handle it? My bad experience, I was working for a pediatric office that had a convenience care side, so an urgent care side, and a primary care side. I was working on the urgent care side, and one of my coworkers, who was working on a provider schedule, got a little overwhelmed with her schedule. I had a slow point in my day, and next thing I know, I was getting demanded to help by the other medical assistant. Um, and because I had a slow day, I just walked over there and I started helping her. When I got done, I did not get a thank you, so I was a little bit upset. Just because I was raised with manners, and manners are a really big thing in my life. So, um, I kind of took a second to reflect. I realized that she's overwhelmed, she's stressed, she is frustrated, and she's not meaning to take it out on me. And once I realized that, I just kind of let it go and let that conflict go away. There's no point in having a conflict because somebody's having a stressful day. It's just going to be a relentless argument. So it's better just to walk away and know that it's not directed or personal towards you. If let's see, if you had a patient come in demanding to see a provider right now, how would you handle it? First off, I would de-escalate my patient, calm them down, reassure them that I understand what they're going through and I want to help them. Next, I would take notes on exactly what our situation is, what's going on, why do you need to see a provider right now. Then I would have them take a seat while I kind of go talk to the medical assistant and I figure out what the next plan of action is, whether that be the medical assistant needs to come out and talk to the patient, or a nurse needs to come out and talk to the patient, or we need to schedule them an appointment, or provider wants to see them now. Regardless, I will get them the best solution. Um, let's see, what is something that somebody assumes about you that is not correct at first? Um, I would have to say people kind of think that they can take advantage of me a little bit because I seem to have like more of a soft side to me when you first meet me. I'm trying to be nice. Not so much I'm trying to be nice. I am a nice person, so they take my kindness as a weakness. Um, but I am far from being easily pushed over. So they kind of find that out a little bit later. My next question: what is my most satisfying patient experience that I've ever had? The most satisfying patient experience that I've had would have to be a young couple brought in an 18-month-old baby for their vaccines in a well child check. They were pretty behind on the vaccines, and you could kind of tell the parents were pretty nervous. Um, After kind of talking with the parents a little bit of side conversation, I found out the mom had been really sick for the last 4 or 5 months, unable to bring baby in. Dad's been working a lot, so he's been pretty stressed out. So the baby fell behind, and the parents were worried that there could be some retaliation or we could get the state involved. I reassured them that parents can choose not to vaccinate, so we can't get the state involved just because they haven't vaccinated their child. Where we encourage them to, but we understand that life happens. And then I took a second to make sure mom was feeling okay and that she wasn't, in any discomfort or anything that I can help her with at that moment. And then I made sure dad was okay. I made sure that he wasn't stressed out and that he could at least breathe for even if it's 10 minutes so that he can focus on baby's appointment and important things that we tell them in their appointment. Um, and then I found out later on, I got pulled into my boss's office, and my provider and my boss were in there explaining to me that these parents have not had the best experience in our clinic, which is really sad to hear every time I hear that. And that they were very pleased with my performance and felt very thankful that I went above and beyond and asked both the parents if they were okay. And the parents actually went to my boss and had told them. What is your biggest dislike about my current employer? I would have to say communication. Communication is a very, very important aspect of any office or any employer, any job. It helps to run a very smooth day, and I feel like sometimes there is quite a lack in communication. So something that we're working on and trying to improve on. What is one experience where you may have maintained, where you need to maintain discretion in a patient information and you did so successfully? Working in a pediatric office, I had a patient that came in for a weight check for an eating disorder. Patient could not see her weight. It would send her into a depression, which would cause and feed the eating disorder. So I had the patient step on backwards onto the scale, back to the monitor so she couldn't see, and I covered the monitor so mom couldn't see. If the provider wants to tell mom, that's okay, but I didn't want to be the one to tell mom and then mom tell her. Wrote it on the back of my face sheet and then stuck it back into the face sheet glove. And made sure that when I was putting it into the system, she could not see my monitor to see what it is. What do you feel the most important skill for any administrative assistant should be in to any company? Knowing how to multitask. 9 times out of 10, you're going to have a patient in front of you. You're going to be checking insurance on the last patient. You were just checking in, and you are going to be on the phone all at the same time. So knowing how to multitask is highly important. How do you handle stress? Full times in an office, I prioritize. I do my stuff that I really, really, really need to get done right that second, and then I make sure I do the rest of my stuff throughout my day as I can. Tell me about a project that you currently did as an administrative role, and what do you like most about that project? My most current administrative role, I did making face sheets for both back office and front office for patients, chart prep. So there's certain things that providers like to have ready for them before they go into appointments that our back office needed to make sure that they had ready, as well as certain things that we need to make sure we had ready for when the patient came into the office so that we can make sure that they're getting checked in as quickly as we can so they can get back in the back. That is all my questions. Thank you for your time, and good night.